Welcome to Becca's Bold Blurbs, quick and radical perspectives on living sober by getting the nonsense out of your noggin so you can get on with living this one wonderful life you've been given. Let's get to it. Welcome back. Well, been away for a couple of weeks, took a break, regrouping, thinking things through, trying to decide what to do, finally decided, and now I'm back. Almost closed the podcast down. It was very close. I thought, yeah, I've had enough of that, and then I started missing you. And not only that, more importantly, I realized I still had stuff I wanted to share with you. And that excited me, and I realized that I enjoy doing this. Even though this is not your traditional podcast, you're not hearing me interview anyone, and these are very short episodes, which leads me to the brand new name of the show. We've rebranded it, and we've changed the name. The new name is Becca's Bold Blurbs, Radical Perspectives on Sobriety. Why? Because these are blurbs. They're not shows. They're blurbs. That's all they are, just blurbs. And what are they? They are perspectives on sobriety. And if anybody has the expertise, the authority, the knowledge to talk about sobriety, I'm telling you it's me. Because why? I'm no spring chicken anymore, kids. And alcohol has been a part of my life. The struggle with alcohol has been a part of my life since I was 12. So I believe I've earned my stripes and I've earned the right to talk about it. And I've also been through it all. Except for, I've just a sidebar here. I was scrolling around the other day and I found this woman, I can't remember her name, who is doing something really interesting. She's started a program, I forget what she's calling it, but anyway, this is not a direct quote, but it was something about a new approach to the 12 steps. And I thought, oh, well, that's interesting. So apparently there's a woman out there who's teaching a different approach to the 12 steps. Good for her. That's what I say. Good for her. Listen, the more people who are trying to help others get sober, the better. That's my opinion on that. There's enough suffering out there, and you've heard me say it before. If you've listened to me at all, at some point you've heard me say, find the path that works for you, follow it, and save your life. Right? One thing I do not say, you won't hear me saying, is that there's one path to sobriety. There really isn't. There's as many paths as there are human beings. The thing is, we have to find our path and stick to it. And so if the 12 steps, if some new approach to the 12 steps, then hey, more power to her. Good for her. So, the next generation of Becca's podcast. We are here. I've decided to stay. I almost closed the show down, realized that I was missing you, and so I'm back to stay. We'll do at least another year together. You can expect me here Monday through Friday for a blurb, for a radical perspective on sobriety, but not just sobriety. I'm going to be talking about mindset. I'm going to be talking about introspective writing, but all of it does revolve around sobriety because we can use those tools, mindset, writing, and many other things to get sobriety. And so I'm going to be sharing techniques, strategies, things that I've learned, perspectives on sobriety. And I believe they are radical. I'm going to give you the first radical perspective today. I'll get to it in just a moment, but I just wanted to let you know that we're back. We're going to stay together another year, and you can expect me 5 days a week. The other thing I want you to know, I've not only rebranded the show, but I am now officially finished as a college professor. This is I just finished my 20th year as a college professor, and I have taken early retirement. I am done. Let me tell you, that feels odd. After 20 years at the same place, it's a very bizarre feeling, to close up my office and give it to someone else on the campus and say goodbye to the familiar and walk away. But I've done it. I actually have a few things still in my office to clean up, but it's done. I'm not going back in September after Labor Day when the new school year begins. So this is it, a whole new adventure starting for me, and you are part of it, a huge part of it. So having shut down that part of that part of my life, I am now officially opening the next part, and that is what? That is an amazing coaching program to help people get sober. And it is launching on June 10th. I've been working my butt off getting it ready. I knew what I wanted to do, how I wanted to help people get sober in the program. I just didn't have time to put it together. And so what I did was, as I say, you haven't heard from me in a few weeks. I joined I got a new business coach, and together we've put together this amazing new program. It's called Perspectives. It's the Perspectives Journey. And the reason I chose that name is because my radical perspective on sobriety is this: your recovery depends entirely on how you view yourself, your perspective on yourself, your relationships with others. That's a perspective. How do you look at it? How do you feel about it? The way you view your past, including your childhood and right up to this moment. The way you view the world and your relationship to people and events and things. Those are all perspectives. That is all mindset. And let me tell you, those of us who like to use alcohol as our solution to our problems have a lot of head trash. We have a lot of perspectives that need to be cleansed, that need to be reviewed, that need to be looked at, that we have to be willing to say, maybe, just maybe, I've got a little bit of a skewed outlook here. Maybe I'm wrong about my past or myself or my mother or whatever it is. And so that's a lot, right? That's a lot. But this is what I'm going to be talking about in the next year as we do another year together here, 5 days a week. You'll get a blurb from me so that we can keep your head on straight, because this is all about perspectives and how we view ourselves, our past, our drinking, how we're approaching our lives, all of it. And I want to start today. The first radical perspective is this. I want to give you this gift. If you are struggling with alcohol, I want you to know that if you decide that you can stop drinking, then you can stop drinking. Is that radical? Is it? Well, I want to tell you, most people I meet, including myself, who are drinking uncontrolled and can't control it and have failed and failed and failed and suffer and struggle, and their relationships are at risk, their careers at risk, their health's at risk. Most of them, in their gut, at the bottom of it all, if you ask them to get honest, will admit they actually have lost faith in themselves. They don't even believe, they can't even imagine. That's a better way of putting it. They can't imagine themselves living their lives alcohol-free. And if that's the case, my dears, you're done. How can you possibly do something you don't believe you can do? You can't. And that is why I had to drink until I was 53 years old. I didn't know it. Don't get me wrong. I didn't know. I mean, if I knew, if I knew, I'd have done something about it. I thought I wanted to quit and that I was sincere. Not true. I did not believe that I could quit. I couldn't, I just, right? So we have to get to the core. And so the first radical perspective that I want to give you, if we take mindset or head trash or whatever you want to call it, and we put it in the realm of sobriety and alcohol addiction, I would give to you this first piece. And the first piece is, do you believe that you can live alcohol-free? And if not, how can you start to believe that? This is where my program starts. So I've got the brand new coaching program launching June 10th. I'm launching the beta version. This is going to be the first round. It's open. It's going to be I'm going to talk more about it. I don't want to go into it in detail here today because I just instead wanted to just reconnect and give you this whole idea of your mindset. But I will just mention that That is the core, the basis, the foundation of the program that I am launching. It's an 8 week sobriety program, and it's all based on your perspective of yourself and your past and your future. What do you believe you can have? What do you believe you deserve? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your drinking? But basically, do you believe that you can live alcohol free? And most of us will, if we're honest, most of us have to admit, no, I don't even have faith that I can do it. I actually can't even imagine it. And that's where my program starts. I show you how to have faith in yourself. How to actually believe that you can do it, because unless you believe you can do it, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do anything you don't believe you can do. You can't, because the mind holds all the power. What we believe is what we get. And that is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. And so I'm going to talk a lot about that, a lot about mindset, a lot about head trash, a lot about perspectives and how we view ourselves, others, the past, our relationship to alcohol, and all of that. So that's it. This is it. That's the first blurb. The first radical perspective on sobriety coming from Becca's Blurbs, and I am super thrilled to be launching the new show right out of the gate on this day in May 2024. And I'll be back tomorrow and every weekday for at least the next year. So come on back and let's get your head screwed on straight. Sending you tons of love. Oh, and by the way, please give me a subscribe or a like. I'd love a review. Send back some love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.